The following program is underwritten by the Nevada Irrigation District. Since 1921, providing clean and healthy drinking and irrigation water to more than 24,000 homes, farms, schools, and businesses in Nevada and Placer counties.
Hi, I'm Lew Sitzer. This is NCTV Interviews. Thanks for watching. And today we're going to learn a lot about the Chapa-De medical clinic that is being built as we now speak in the Grass Valley area. We have with us today Susan Navarro, who is the director of behavioral health, and Darla Clark, who is the clinical administrator. Welcome to NCTV Interviews. It's great to have you here. And I know that Chapa-De has been in the community for quite a while, but it's been a very low profile. And all of a sudden that profile is going to be raised considerably. Could you tell us a little bit about, first of all, the background of Chapa-De, and then about how long it's been in our area and what kind of services it provides?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting us. We're really enthused about being here to share our vision with you and just to be part of the community and expand services. And Chapa-De has a long history, believe it or not, in the county, in Nevada County and in Placer County and several other counties as well, which I'll be talking about and we'll be sharing with you this afternoon. Chapa-De started as a small dental clinic in Old Town Auburn. For those of you who are familiar with Auburn and the Old Town, you can imagine just a rinky-dink little building up before there was a freeway. And we had dental services, and from that area we expanded to the DeWitt Center, which is in Placer County in Auburn. And we used to laugh about being in the old mental health facility because it at one point had been a state hospital. And we have a visionary as a CEO, Carol Irvin, who had a dream that Native American people should have a nice facility to get their healthcare services from. And so her and her team and her design team built a clinic off of Atwood, which we've been at for about 13 or 14 years, right, Darla? Yes. And we expanded services in Auburn, and we also expanded services to Woodland, which is in Yolo County, and expanded services to Grass Valley in about 1998. And we've been in this area since '98. We also have been serving Sierra counties and Yolo, El Dorado counties, which we no longer serve, but those are the counties that we've served over the history of our time in this area.
Now, by serving the communities, you're relating to a philosophy and a style of care as well.
Right.
What would you say the mission of Chapa-De is?
Well, we actually have a wonderful mission statement, and I'm so sorry that we didn't bring it with us today to share with you. It's about empowering people and really coming together as a whole and representing the whole person in healthcare, not just physical health, but again, behavioral health, social health, familial health, and looking at health from a holistic perspective.
And this holistic perspective, has that been with you from the beginning, and does it reflect a sort of historic, perhaps Native American philosophy?
Oh, absolutely, Lou. I think when you look at healthcare for Native Americans, again, it's always been kind of tongue-in-cheek. We've laughed. We're not just treating the individual, we're treating the whole family, because cousins are going to come in, grandparents are going to come in, and it isn't about, you have to have enough room in your waiting area and in your exam rooms to be able to work with the whole family. And we look at treatment as kind of a system, from a systems approach, that it's really looking at the whole system, whether it's the individual or the family. Want to add anything to that, Darla?
That was a great summarization
Okay.
of our mission statement. That's exactly what we do.
So when you're dealing, now a lot of people have the impression that it's just for Native Americans.
Yeah.
And I know that you serve a large population of Native Americans, but it isn't all you serve.
Right. What has happened over the years is as you know, with business or for lack of a better term, corporate America, that you look at expanding businesses and you look for generate, not only in terms of your consumers, but in terms of operational, the operations. And we've opened up our services to our non-Native community. It has happened in about, how many years ago was it that we opened to non-Natives?
It was in the mid-90s, I would say, mostly, because of managed care going into Placer County.
And how has managed care essentially worked with what you have to offer? Did it inspire you to offer something to the population?
We wanted to offer our broad range services to not only our Native community, but also to the population of the counties that we served. And so managed care was an entry door for us to be able to do that. And as a result, our services have not only expanded, and we've been able to offer more comprehensive services, but that we're serving a broader base population. And so at this point, approximately 60% of our population is Native American, and about 40% is non-Indian. And I think it's a valuable service for the communities that we serve. I think patients come into our waiting areas, into our entrance of our Auburn office and our Woodland office, and now when we have the Grass Valley Clinic, our Grass Valley Clinic, feeling welcomed and invited, and hopeful that they're going to get quality services, and the quality services that all nations deserve.
Right. The kind of health care that we would like to see universal.
Exactly.
Right. So I think there's also a lack of knowledge as to who can qualify for care at the clinic.
Right. You want to?
Sure, yeah. Well, we see anyone who needs health care and who walks through our door. We don't have a lot of contracts with managed care plans, so the majority of the folks that we see are either through their Native American heritage or people that don't have a health plan. So it ends up being Medicare, Medi-Cal, self-pay individuals, or private insurance we also accept. Mm-hmm. So basically anyone who can come. However, we're not Kaiser, we're not HealthNet. Mm-hmm. We're not involved with any insurance health plans.
And somehow you manage. I know there's a often referred to as a doctor shortage here, and I know the hospital is trying to work wonders with making medicine more available, but there is a sense that there's not enough here in the way of services to provide for the population. How do you think that the new clinic will impact that?
Well, we hope to be able to open up. We're not able to meet the demand right now in our existing locations, and we're hoping with the new facility we will be able to open up to anyone who wants to come and use our facility, and they'll be able to have all of the services under one roof.
So talk about your existing program here, because a lot of people aren't aware of that, and what kind of demands are now placed on it.
That's true. A lot of people aren't aware that we're here now. And we've been operating in Grass Valley for about 10 years now. And we have, but we're at separate locations, so we're not as visible. We have a medical office, and we have dental services and behavioral health services at separate locations now.
We're in the old Presley building. We started in the Presley building and some suites there, and all of our services were in one building, and we rapidly outgrew the suites we were in, and so then the medical department moved over to another site, and we really want to have all of our services under one umbrella, and we've had the existing land and property for over 12 years, and with the vision of building a facility that would encompass all of our services and again address the needs of the community. Nevada County does have an underserved population that aren't able to get their medical services due to shortage of doctors or lack of the ability for doctors to serve that population. So we think that we're going to be an added boost to the medical community in serving the disadvantaged or disenfranchised or other kinds of populations that really are just as needy of services as other socioeconomic structures within the community.
Right. Well, before we take a look at the design and what will become the clinic, I was wondering if you could talk about how this is going to be paid for. It's a beautiful building and it's a fantastic location. But the funding, can you talk a little bit about where the funding comes from?
Most of our funding comes from Indian Health Service. Those are federal dollars, the Department of Health and Human Services. And we also receive money from the state of California, State Indian Health Program. And the balance of our budget is made up from billing third parties, Medicare, Medi-Cal, private insurances. And we have a few grants too.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and we also have a keen board of directors and a very savvy, if you will, CFO and CEO who put their heads together and determine how we can apply for loans or, work with our local banks in coming up with the financing. And so there's always creativity in terms of how you build your dream, and I think we have the team that is working together to do that. And fortunately, Darla and I don't have to be concerned with that, but it is definitely always a concern. Funding is always, at the back of people's minds.
But I just want to lay to rest some perhaps myths or rumors. This isn't gaming money. This isn't casino money.
No.
You're not going to be installing slot machines in the lobby. This has nothing to do with essentially the gaming casino industry. Totally separate.
Lou,
We've
thank you
heard
very
those
much.
rumors,
Thank you very much for laying that to rest, because as we mentioned when we spoke earlier, it's always a bone of contention for us because our mission is to deliver health care, and that is the only mission that we operate under, and so it's not even in the same basket.
Good. Well, let's take a look. These are some of the pictures, first a rendering, and maybe, Darla, you could talk a little bit about what is going to happen at these buildings.
Well, you see there's some different pods, different areas in there, you can tell by the roof. And there's an area for behavioral health services, an area for dental, and there's two separate medical wings, a chronic medicine wing where we'll do a lot of diabetes care, and then there's a Western medicine, which is more of your traditional visits that people are, when you go to the doctor or you have a sore throat, that's what care will happen in that area. And then there's a integrative medicine pod, and that will be chiropractic, acupuncture, maybe some massage, and it's not a separate area, but mixed in there too, we have pharmacy services and optometry, so there'll be some eye care too.
I read in the paper last night that you're looking to hire a physician and maybe even a dentist, in addition to what you already have on staff.
We are. Currently, we have up here in Grass Valley, one physician, and I think there's 2 full-time dentists here, and we're hoping to add to that.
Along with acupuncture and chiropractor and massage and optometry and all the other services. So it's going to be a full medical service facility.
Absolutely.
Right. We're looking at an integrative health model where all of the services complement and work collaterally with each other in treatment of the patient.
Here we can see the structure, and these were just taken yesterday. So very recent photos of the buildings. Very impressive, the kind of architecture that has been put together. How did you come up with this design?
We had a staff person who really believed in the energy of the county and believed that that healing circles should come together, not just energetically, but physically. And so the idea was to have healing circles that would meld and there's, it's almost like a village concept, that because there's pods, they're all little villages that come together in a whole. And we made sure that we wanted to have the front face the east where the sun rises. It's the Native American, part of the Native American tradition is to honor the rising of each day. And something that was not the box, outside of the box thinking. And so then you see the circles and something that isn't your traditional medical facility.
Well, just looking at that photo from the air, not very many people have a chance to see that kind of a design from the air.
Right.
And it really does remind me of the sort of Native American structures that we've seen in books. And this is really going to be an addition to our community, not just in terms of the holistic care and medical services, but of just the presence.
Isn't it beautiful?
It will be beautiful
of this structure and what it means. There's a whole resurgence of interest from the local tribe,
That's
the Maidu
wonderful.
tribe, and a whole awareness that's growing in the population of our own history.
Exactly, exactly. And we've had comments from the community, and you probably as well have heard, what is that going up there? Is that is that some kind of shrine,
hotel.
a hotel, a church? What is it? Because it's so unique in its design. And you walk in and it isn't, it's we're scheduled to open at the end of September, but even now as you walk up into the grounds, you have a sense of peace and well-being. And we believe the environment plays a lot into wholeness and wellness, and so the environment just in that area is a real wonderful environment.
And you say it's going to going to be a grand opening?
Right.
There will be.
Okay.
It'll be open to the community.
Yes, it's
You
3 days.
You anticipate it being done by that time?
Yeah, it's on
It will be
schedule
done,
now.
yeah.
Yes.
The building is on schedule, and we've had a wonderful crew working with us, SD Deacons, and they're really working.
This is a lovely walkway. I mean, I was so impressed by the design just of this walkway for wheelchair and anyone who might want just a lovely stroll.
Yeah.
It just kind of reminds me that we really don't have to take a direct line.
Exactly.
I mean, isn't the fastest way may not be the best way?
Exactly. And our gardener, we have a gardener that is more than a green thumb. She's got several green thumbs, and she's working very hard with our landscape designer and making sure that the grounds are part of the healing environment, that it's not only the physicians and the providers that are providing healing, but the grounds are as well. So we're going to be able to take real pride in that, and the community will as well.
And a lot of, I assume native plants?
Oh yes, indigenous to the, indigenous to this community. There's been quite a bit of research that has gone on into what should be part of the local landscape.
Well, maybe we can talk a little bit about the population served, because I think people would say, you mean we have that many Native Americans here? Where are they, and where do they come from? And so maybe, Darla, we were talking a little bit about that, kind of makeup of the clients.
Yes, we're a little different than some of the tribal health programs that are out there in California. A lot of them are located near a rancheria or a reservation, and they serve primarily that particular population. And at Chapa-De, we've always served all tribes. We have well over 100 tribes that we serve. And so it's not any one particular tribe that is served by Chapa-De. There are California tribes, local tribes, as well as Alaska Natives and tribes from other state as well.
And you have, and this is putting you on your spot. I don't know if you have an answer for this. Do you have any idea of the numbers of people served here at your present location? You know, you have 2 locations: behavioral health, mental health, dentistry, and also family medicine. About how many people do you serve?
It's about 4,000 people right now in our current locations, our little offices, and we hope to be able to open up more also being in the new facility.
Well, that's a lot. That's a lot for our area.
Yeah,
4,000.
Those are 4,000 active patients, and of that 4,000, you know, it varies in terms of the direct contact that we have with the patients, but they're registered patients. And the other thing, what's always interesting and fascinating to me is we'll be talking to somebody about our location in our agency, and somebody will say, well, I've got Native American in my blood, and how do you go about, you know, finding out your quantum, your blood quantum, or they want to know about their ancestry. So we're assuming that we're going to have people that didn't even know where their lineage was, all of us, you know, being able to do the research so that they can come to the clinic as part of the Native American community. So that will expand.
So how does that work if I were to come and say, well, I'm not sure if I qualify as a Native American? Does that essentially make my health care free? How does that impact fees versus, does it make any difference at all?
I'm not sure. Can you ask that?
Yeah.
I think I understand. You're asking if someone does come in as a Native American patient, what are they eligible for?
Right.
Or what? And the answer is if they do come to us and you have your documentation of your Indian ancestry, you can receive most of the services at Chapa-De at no charge. There is fees for some of this, small fees for some of the services, but for the most part, your dental and physician visits are at no charge.
Great. So it also sounds like for most people who haven't encountered Chapa-De, it's a large organization. What started as a small one in Old Town Auburn has grown to be multiple centers, which are one of which is in Grass Valley, but you also have one in Auburn and another one being built in Woodland.
We have one in Woodland now. We're in the process of building a small clinic in Williams,
Yeah.
So,
which is in Colusa County.
yeah, and recently I visited you in Auburn and was very impressed with the beauty of what you have there. You know, it isn't as spectacular a design as this, but I was just so taken with the natural